Hey there, Shopomaniacs. You're listening to the Shop Talk Show, a podcast about web design and front-end development too. I'm Dave Rupert, just canceling myself. Well, with me is Chris Coyer. Hey, Chris, how are you doing today?
Nice. It reminded me, that was like your Bismarcky thing.
Yeah, hip-hop dad tries to get the kids out the door. I'm the hip-hop dad.
You say Div's just a friend, but you say Span's just a friend.
Oh, baby, you have no accessible role. Your type is generic. I don't want to share it. Your website. So, yeah, something like that.
Is all that I need.
Ooh,
I love
good.
it.
Good. We got a hit. We got a hit on our hands.
Yep.
So,
everybody likes a good parody song, you know?
Yeah.
I am surprised at the general love of Weird Al. You know, I have nothing against Weird Al. You know, you listen to his songs, you're like, that's a funny parody that I never need to listen to ever again. You know, I don't need to listen to I'm Fat again. It was, I don't know, not even for his fat phobia, but people just love the guy. They love him.
I do love him, but I guess I listened to a lot when I was a kid on repeat. But yeah, I guess I don't, heard Gangster's Paradise once, don't really need it all the time or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
What is this parody on Gangster's Paradise? But whatever.
Amish Paradise.
Amish Paradise. Yeah. They see me rolling on the Segway, that one too. I just, I heard it. I heard it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you could be the nicest guy that ever lived. I wish nothing but success, but I don't need to own the record, I guess. That's weird to say. Am I going to get canceled for not liking Weird Al enough?
I don't know, man. 'Tis the season to get fully canceled. Yeah. We're good. So we can do it.
Good.
So.
We can. We are going to do some questions today and then just, do what we normally do. Talk about websites, things we like, don't like. I don't know. Is anything particularly on your mind, or should I dig up one of these questions?
Yeah, I kind of know. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going in my mind at all times, but
okay.
No, I mean, no. We should find.
Well, there's some questions. There's some old ones that we were looking through because some of them were like, there'd be questions that you've all very generously said in. One of them's, years and years old at the bottom of our list. I'm like, let's start at the bottom and look at stuff that are still good questions that I've never deleted, but maybe we should delete some of them because, it's like when you look at an email in your inbox for 2 weeks and then eventually you're just like, I don't think I have anything to say. And there's some reason why you didn't delete it, but there's a reason why you didn't answer it either. And then eventually your brain just reaches a tipping point and you're like, I'm either going to respond or delete it. And so that's kind of what we did. We're either put them on the list or we deleted it. So here's some older ones.
I mean, there's a couple I broke my arm skiing and it's currently the fall. So that was probably last year. I apologize. I hope you got it sorted out. So yeah, we wanted to, just wanted.
Yeah. And I did an episode where I broke my arms. The problem is I didn't learn anything because I just kept my arms at an angle and I just typed with my fingers anyway. If I broke my fingers, I powered through. And yeah. But I didn't need to reach for accessibility tools or assistive technology, as they call it, and I didn't learn to code with my voice or anything. So unfortunately, I don't have any personal advice to share on that. It would probably be different now. Even a couple of years later, the advent of these tools that turn spoken voice into text are, to me, feel way better. So maybe I would give a crack at it now.
I think they're really good now. Just that's maybe the power of LLMs here, but I think they're all pretty. The OS level ones are pretty good, and they're kind of good enough that they advertise them. So hopefully, if you find yourself in that position, I know old Theo. T3, he had some hand surgery or something, so I think it's been a adjustment. So you could follow his life if you're in that situation too. So.
We'll do this John Elwood one just because you've seen, as with your history with Japanese, you probably have seen a little bit more than I have. But John says, have you ever heard of the CSS position Ruby? It's not position Ruby. I don't think there's position : Ruby. There is Ruby dash position and then over and under. So there's that going on. There's also an angle brackets Ruby element in HTML. I know super little about it, but let's see what John has to say here. It looks like primarily used for placing English text over or under characters in the East Asian cultural sphere, but it also seems like it could be used for other things as well. I just never heard of it before, never heard it discussed. My guess is that the founder of CSS Tricks and someone who majored in Japanese in college both have probably heard of it before. I'll say that's as far as I've gone. I've never once actually used it. Have you used it, Dave?
I actually don't know. Only playing. So, not used it. So,
not to put you on the spot there, but I thought, hey, maybe it came up.
Yeah, so I can. So I am a Japanologist by trade. That's a major in Japanese, Asian cultures and languages. Yeah, so the Ruby exists because certain languages. I had to do a little bit of searching, but it seems like for Chinese, Japanese, and Korean at some time, like Korean sometimes, you will like. You have these complex forms in Japanese called kanji, Japanese hanji, Korean, I don't know, hanja maybe. Anyway, and Korea modernized their language and it's like super logical and cool, like in the 50s, I think it was. So but historically they have like the old Chinese symbols, kind of like, that style. So that may come up, and they may, you could imagine like a modern day, a kid reading an old newspaper or like an old quote or something about, they might not know how to pronounce that symbol because they don't understand it, or in Japanese, it's very common, like to read a newspaper up and down, right? You need to know about 2,000 kanji. That sounds like a large number, but it's basically you need to have these symbols memorized, what they mean, how they're pronounced, etc., etc. Like, you need to know about 2,000 of these. But to like fully understand it, and now we're getting into like rare kanji that appear in names and different kanji that appear in just, or just have alternate or weird pronunciations when smashed together with different kanji. Those kanjis have two readings, onyomi and kunyomi, but sometimes they have weirdo readings too. So anyway, the Ruby there, what that does is it gives you like a pronunciation guide. So it's in the closest approximate, sometimes it's in the katakana, like foreigner script, or sometimes like a imported word script, or it's in like the hiragana, which is kind of like the Japanese pronunciation, or it's in English, like it'll like explain the character in English, like the English romanization version of it. I think Chinese sort of has the same problem, like not problem, but problem space, but like where there's two different kinds of Chinese, so maybe you don't know, there's like the simplified and is it traditional, and so like you kind of have to figure out, or maybe that the Ruby helps bridge that. I'm not actually sure what Ruby offers Chinese specifically, but I'd be curious. But the pronunciations or the diacritics, sort of like the ups and downs, and that all matters a lot in Chinese, even in Japanese.
Yeah.
It does. So
that's interesting because I see you could put an English translation or something underneath Japanese characters. That's a use case for this, but also at least I'm looking at the MDM docs. They have, it looks like these diacritics is like possibly even a more common use case.
Yeah. Yeah, like, sort of like explaining sort of like how to say a word or how to pronounce it, how to read it, how to, what is like the modern version of this word or something like that. You could think of that, like this is like an outdated phrase, but we would sort of like, it basically relates to this. You might use it there. It's actually in the newspaper, the daily Japanese newspaper, all the time. A lot of names are in that 6,000 kanji space, but most people only know 2,000-ish. I was talking to a girl this weekend, native Japanese
really?
speaker.
Okay.
I was volunteering at this actual thing. Didn't plan to wear the shirt, but the Asan Oida Sister City Festival. But she was like, "Oh, I don't know kanji because I just use my phone." Like she just, the modern kids don't use it. But anyway, so like if you have a complex name, you may, you may get the Ruby next to your name because it's just a different way to pronounce it. So, something that happens all the time. So it's normal space. So I think Ruby as a whole, the positioning spec is just, and it comes with a suite of HTML elements, almost like DTs and DDs, but they're RT, RD.
Yeah, exactly. Go to the
RB.
Indian Pigeon and inspect it. It's like it's almost like you're expected to use this position dash Ruby stuff on the sub elements of a Ruby element. I admit I've never seen it. I knew about the Ruby element just whatever. Yes, like John said, as the founder of CSS Tricks, I was subject to plenty of, understanding all the nooks and crannies of the language and saw it there. But I didn't know there was sub elements of Ruby, and that's where you like put the word that you want centered over the top and stuff. I wonder how tricky this stuff is from like a web rendering engine perspective. Do they look at this stuff with a little bit of a groan, like, oh my god, like, is it a source of bugs?
I think for a long time it was, or it was hard to get right. I think it's mostly settled now. I think because I'm even seeing like old deleted elements. So it's RP and RT seem like the major children here. Anyway, so it's sort of like a, I think it's cool. Like Ruby, you wrap the word you're about to say in, and then RP, RT is sort of like the hey, here's the parenthetical meaning of this, and then you use kind of the CSS stuff to position it correctly, like where you want it. Above, I think it's Ruby positioning above, below. Which would be cool to have maybe start, end. But anyway, so that's it's useful is what I'd say. One way, can I hypothesize for you?
Oh, I love that.
Can I do something for you?
You may.
My daughter has dyslexia. Okay.
Yeah.
Dyslexia makes it hard to read words. Like you
reverse stuff in your brain and stuff, right?
Yeah, and you have trouble spotting, patterns or word forms. A lot of our reading is kind of I know the phonics, but she kind of, I think, is sort of like the shape or which letters bunch together, something like that. So I'm not a scientist, haven't done any of this. This is my limited understanding. But one of the ways to sort of overcome this is to one tool is to sort of show where the emphasis on the word is, this is whatever. Let me find it. Dyslexia. It's like a dot notation, but you basically put a dot on the part of the word to match to a visual pattern, so this is the pattern we're trying to solve, and something like that. So anyway, I don't want to over sort of prescribe or sort of create an accessibility dongle or anything like that here, but you could think of like almost like a karaoke thing, like or like you're teaching English, like or something like that. Like we're trying to give like we're showing where the emphasis on a word is or something like that. You know, like you could kind of like
and it just helps them get through it a little better. Don't you have the Reader app on your phone? Do we use the same one? REEDER.
Yeah.
For RSS reading, they have a little toggle, which at one point they made very weirdly to me prominent. Like it was just a button in the bottom toolbar, and it had a bold A, I think, and then a less bold A. And you turned it on, and every word it would start with like a bold version, and then kind of like remove boldness as the characters went on in the word. And it was supposed to be a thing that like helped. I don't know if it was specifically for dyslexia or it just helped you people just generally read faster for some reason. It was almost always at the beginning of the word, though. I don't think it intelligently did it at the emphasis of the word. But the point was that it helped you scooch through the word quicker somehow or something. And I like it. I still have it on. I just leave it on all the time. Just like I was surprised, it's been a number of years now, but I just leave captions on the TV now, I don't need them. But I just sort of got used to having them. It's interesting when an accessibility feature kind of like helps everybody. It's like it was designed for like, oh, this is for somebody with some kind of disorder, and they do benefit from it, and so does everybody else. I think that's great.
No, I mean, I'm not like I don't think we need to overdo it, but if if your name has like a difficult pronunciation and you're tired of explaining that all the time, you could maybe just kind of make the HTML to make it add your pronunciation over your name or something like that, or there's things like that, like, and I agree with you on the like subtitle thing. Like I use them all the time. I almost can't watch TV without them because as I get older, I get a little more hard of hearing, and it's like a little bit like I'm losing, or I just kind of like don't want to spend all my brain power trying to be like, what did they say? So
yeah, it helps you catch a little more and stuff. I don't know.
Okay, it's called decodable readers. That's kind of anyway. That's the sort of science, the dyslexia science. That Anyway, let's kids.
This is our problem, man. We can't even read the most basic question without spending half the show on it. Maybe
we should say
that's how we roll.
Yeah, maybe next time somebody asks a question, I'm just gonna read the MDN page. And that's it. I'm not going to talk about anything else.
Yeah. Remember we used to do rapid fire. Ooh, those kind of fell off. Maybe we don't have enough. How did we do it? Did we do a timer or something? I know we used to make gun sounds, which got uncool at some point.
People didn't like the gun sounds. Nope.
No.
Which
is fair enough.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll do a quick one. Yeah, right. This is going to be forever.
It'll be 1 minute. 1 minute
sure.
on the clock. Chris?
Mike Trilford writes in. He made a like a JSX component, like a capital R responsive component, and the idea was, here's the just to distill this down. The point of this is like, what if you have a responsive breakpoint, and we know we can change the styles in CSS, but what if you need to change the HTML too? Like, there's just something you just want to change. There's just more you need to change. And I haven't. Ancient blog posts about this on CSS tricks, and I had it was one of those like tears I went on for like number of years. Like, you can do it like this. I probably wrote it in PHP at one point. Like, what if you pass the screen size to PHP and it renders the page with different HTML? And then it became a Java jQuery technique and a web component technique at one point, and fine. The real answer to this is like, if you cannot do it, you should not do it. If you can get away with, even if you have to do it, putting both pieces of HTML on the page and then hide and showing them with CSS, that's probably the way to go. There's all these ways to go that are like probably what you should be doing, and your last resort is some kind of whatever JSX flopper router that literally changes the DOM and all that. So I think that's what Mike's component here does. It takes like an above and below prop, which is just like a pixel width Mike, I gotta say, I don't like super love the API of the component. I don't like that you have to use multiple of them to kind of do the job. I'd rather have one with some kind of child element approach or something. Just, I don't know, that would fit my brain a little better. No shame. It's your component. Do whatever you want with it, you know? But yeah, I'd try to not use it at all. So what do you think, Dave? If you need to swap out both the HTML and the CSS at a responsive breakpoint, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I feel like always, right? You have one choice, or you have three choices, right? You can manage it like one at a time, like this is doing one. Wrapper does one job, right? One thing does one job, right? Or you can manage it inside the component, like whatever, my chart, and then that guy just has to respond to every viewport width or container queries, basically, right? Like, or you can manage it at the parent, right? Like you have a component that's like, I don't know, viewport switcher component, you know, or whatever. And then you have like, you accept elements, and those elements will be applied based on some attribute or slotting or something like that, you know. So like either you can do it in the component, you can, I guess, make a wrapper component, or you can like do a parent component that does sort of the handling of everything. Does that make sense?
It does.
Because this one is putting responsive and then a stack, which is like, you know, a vertical stack, responsive stack. So you have actually added two event listeners. So two components with two event listeners. So you have two instances, two event listeners. Your memory overhead is like plus. So
yeah,
if you could simplify that down
that's
to
a good way to put it, Dave.
The parent, now you have one event listener, you know, kind of show hiding based on that. And ideally, you're not using any event listeners at all. You're just doing purely CSS. That's hard, though. That's sort of actually isn't a reality until we get this new what is it called? Custom media query at custom media, where you like can pass a variable into a custom, like into a media query, and then get like, and then it'll react to it, which would be super cool. And like using like data adder, and that's now out, like in Chrome at least, but you could start.
Yeah, I'm surprised. There was so much talk about that, and I just looked it up. It because I published that blog post about like new stuff and whatever that I've been working on forever. That one really is Chrome only, like the more powerful attribute. Isn't it surprising? It seems like low hanging fruit to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess
because other browsers support the syntax, the typed syntax.
Yeah,
right. Like
I think
the app
we're
property stuff.
Using it, but maybe polyfilling it, which is sort of just like not anyway. It's like duplicate code or something right now. But anyway, so like you have, like you could actually get your syntax through like a data adder, and then you sort of respond to that. But ideally, you have one resize listener, or as few as possible, and then you have like a and you're using CSS. So we're just kind of not there yet with the CSS, but you know, ideally that would be what you're doing. So that said, like,
I agree.
We got to get through the day. I don't think this is a bad API. I think it's just kind of like, because you probably only have two on the page. Like, how many components can you actually not make work across all viewports? You know, it's like usually the calendar or something. Even that you could probably make work.
Pretty rare.
Like,
exactly.
It's pretty rare, but like you just let's all know what we're doing. Like I still wish like components came with like $signs. Like hey, this data table that is accessible and like has a viewport scroller and all this stuff, this is expensive to build, to maintain, to load on the page. it's a $10 component or it's a $5 sign component, just like Yelp, like if you're using this restaurant, it's a $5 component. So I kind of wish our components had those sort of like costs and like, you could measure that.
I'm kind of looking at my old post, and it was based on an advertisement, which kind of made sense to me that you just would do something else with an ad.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, I know that's still a little vague, but I just remember being in those situations in the past.
That was almost a requirement because like the cool ad was that long. What is it? Not 768 by 100
They still
or
use
something.
that one.
They still use that one.
Hilarious to
But
me.
then like you resize it on a phone, and it's like it's like 10 pixels tall because the aspect ratio is wrong. So you almost need to like flip it into a square,
right? Exactly. It's that kind of thing,
higher.
right? And then in these days, it's like, wouldn't you do it on a container query instead? Wouldn't that be better?
Yeah.
Yes, it would
be based on the container. So anyway, also container queries, use those. And
that's what that responsive. If you're going to build a component today that does this specifically, I would only base it on that. Now that they're supported across the board pretty much, and like why base it on the size of the page? It just isn't. That's not useful anymore. Mm-hmm. What matters is how much space it has.
Yeah. Talk to the parent. Like, hey, we're all children. We're all children of the DOM, Chris, and just listen to your parent. Okay, just let your parent. Anyway. Hey, Russell Heimlich writes in. Thanks, Russell. Long time list. Thanks. Just realized CodePen is 13 years old. What keeps you motivated to keep working on it? If you weren't focused on CodePen, what would you be doing instead? Ooh, the rage quit plan. Oh, and hi, Dave. Always look forward to your vibe checks. Thanks, Russell.
I am motivated to keep working on it. Probably, the short answer is there's still business value in it. I'm in a sense betting my career on it. If this whole thing flopped at this point, which is not the vibes I'm trying to put out in the world, because there's no evidence that it's going to. In fact, I'm so excited about 2.0 I can hardly freaking contain myself. 2.0 is a better product for people. It's just cooler. It just does more stuff. It poises us for the future in lots of different interesting ways. And it's a more viable business product as well. There's like more moments at which upgrading is like a fair thing that we're offering people to do because it does more stuff. So I'm excited at it from a business perspective, and that I've worked on it a long time, and I just want people to see it and that kind of thing. But the motivation comes from different areas too. I do different stuff all the time. I do customer facing stuff, which I never get sick of. I think that's really fun. I do like strategizing work. We sit in meetings and think about what the best possible thing is we can do for this product and for users. And I just will forever find that kind of a fun activity. Being like, what could be better about this is a very satisfying conversation to have. And the amount of technology that powers it is great. And I have not mastered it all. That's why there's lots of people that work on the app, because we have different experts in different areas. But I'll tell you, I write more and more Go code. And that to me is very, I don't know, it's exciting to work on a system like that. Like I've been a freaking full stack developer for a long time. I think I earned that long ago, maybe not like absolute expert, but I certainly like get around on the back end just fine, but there's just it's almost like a just as deep of a skill set there as front end. I think they're perhaps equally deep. And I get a kick out of that too. And now with the help of AI to like kind of help me think through things and understand our code base, I'm finding myself even more like capable of doing like bigger back end projects, and that feels fun and stuff. There's not a week that goes by that I don't look at a task with like a like a sweat bead running down my forehead, like, what are we going to do here? And then only to find through work and talking and stuff that we can solve it and get past it. That's still satisfying. CodePen offers that to me. And I have control. It's my product. So the work that I do, I know makes a tangible impact. And I think that's that's a reason that I have stuck in my head. That's classic for a reason that people burn out is when they work hard, but they don't have control in the end. They're kind of just told what to do, or that their work isn't clearly making it to the light of day for the people that it was designed for. Like if a project gets scrubbed or something, or, you know, scuttled or however you want to say it, that can be like really bad for burnout, because you can be like, man, I did all this work and it didn't like do the thing. People, they didn't see it. People get to see my crap all the time. All the time. I write about it. I talk about it. I podcast about it. All this. So that I've never been really at risk for being burnt out. I mean, maybe a little bit here and there, because it is true that this 2.0 hasn't shipped publicly yet. It is in a private beta and looking at public beta really soon, but that has been as close as I've come to be like, oh God, please get this out. I'm not even good at editing text that good, because I get something written and I'm just like, yeah, I'll just hit publish. You know, like my personal style is so much like, just press the publish button, you know, just get it out there. We'll fix it later, you know?
Yeah.
So having a product that it's been years and years and years, like 5-6 years we've been ideating and building this thing.
Probably, we could probably go back and scroll up in the archives. And,
it's been that long, but fortunately it's okay, you know? It hasn't, you know, people look at us with crazy eyes sometimes, like, how can you possibly work on for something so long, especially when the advice is, and your own advice is, you know, get stuff out early and often and iterate. This is the exact opposite of that advice. Why would you take so long? Well, it's like, well, I don't know, different circumstances in this case.
Yeah. I actually have a post I think you'll like about this. It's called "Why I Hate the MVP car." So, you know, the MVP car where it's like
I do know
skateboard to scooter to bicycle to like. Actually,
it seems so logical.
Actually, do think that's good, but that's not how any of those products are made. Like, you know, Henry Ford wasn't putting skateboards at the beginning of the line and spitting out cars, you know, like.
No, he wasn't. And what it pits it against is like, I don't know, an axle of a car, and then an axle with 2 wheels on it, and things like that, where each step along the way is closer to building a car, but isn't useful all by itself. That's just, it's too reductive is the point, right? That's just not how things generally go.
I think my thing is like, it almost means nothing, right? Like, you know, but generally I'm in the like iterative spirit, you know, but you know, like in y'all's situation, it's like a complete overhaul, right? Like it's a redoing, you know,
right. Well, the existing company is helping people and making money. So why
you're
mess that up?
Funding the entire operation based on, so you have to be pretty methodical about how you're getting through all the gates, you know. I think
I don't want to sound too protective over that. Like, have we made mistakes? Should we have moved faster? Is there things we could do better? Yes, absolutely. But
I mean, you know, but you can't, you know, and again, it's like, you got to know what you're dealing. Like, you got to, like, it's a small company. You're a small company, you know. It's not like you had an extra 900 engineers, you know, spinning their wheels and couldn't get it out the door or something like that. Like, that's the scale I'm operating at. Like, they're like, oh, we have 900 engineers working on this. I'm like, that's different. That's not what I'm used to. 3-person company, you know? So,
yeah. Okay.
So, anyway. Anyway. New CodePen. Remember how CodePen, like, did 3 things? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript?
Yeah.
New CodePen
does those same things better.
A lot more. Maybe infinite. I haven't pushed the infinite limit, but you know, it does a lot more. So.
No, yeah, actually, Alex and I have a good podcast. The CodePen Radio is back. So if you're, you know, jonesing for more podcasting, I think we're 10 episodes back in that, where we kind of talk about the business of CodePen and how it all works and stuff like that. I just did one with Alex about a piece of technology called TreeSitter. Look it up if you haven't seen it. It's kind of a parser for languages, but like any language, you know, it's like a core piece of technology. And then through grammars, you teach it what a language is like what is JavaScript like? And then once it knows, it can kind of tokenize JavaScript and build an abstract syntax tree out of it. But it's like so amazingly written that's very permissive. It doesn't tend to break on bad code kind of on purpose. That's a nice thing that it does, and is very fast. So when we can send every line of code in your entire project through TreeSitter and like get a lot of understanding about what you're trying to do in it, like in a millisecond, just got it. And then, that's core to the new CodePens, so that the podcast goes into why that's so important for the new CodePen. It's because we're trying to understand a lot about what you're doing and then help with doing it, not so that we can like exhibit too much control or.
So what's it do? It like monitors a tree or something, or like
it just gets a abstract syntax tree. So if you have questions about the files, you can ask those questions with like a query syntax. Like in if you have a database, you have a SQL, and you can ask the data SQL. That's similar here. Now I can like ask the files, hey, I need to know like in all these JavaScript files, what other files are you linking to? So give me the information I need about that. And then we build a little graph of like what's, like a tree of what's linking to what, but not that's, theoretical or whatever. It's like, no, you are actually doing this in your code.
So could I
know what links to what?
So I could scan my JavaScript files and like my component tree, or sorry, I'm using the word tree twice, but whatever, my components, and I could get all the imports and get a list by file, and then like pull that out through the syntax, and then like spit out some sort of whatever spreadsheet on what
absolutely
components.
And you got to write that code yourself, and we have, but we need to know that stuff. Dave, you're a fan of the word leaf node. That's the end of a tree, right? Where it no longer links to any more nodes. It's the leaf. That's an interesting concept to CodePen, because now we know that leaf node is like safely processable. So if that leaf node happens to be a TypeScript file or a SCSS file or something, we can process that one down to its primitive, like down into JavaScript or CSS, and then like kind of basically change the import of anything importing it to just be importing CSS or JavaScript or whatever. And then we can process the next node up from it. I know that sounds a little complex or something, but it's kind of important to this fundamental nature of the new CodePen, where we're processing all your stuff independently. So instead of you like whatever using Astro and trying to figure out how to use Lightning CSS with it or something, some of those things are really easy and obvious to use, and some of those things are very complicated to use. You figuring out, us developers call it config hell, trying to figure out how configs fit together so that multiple technologies work together nicely. Nobody likes it. It's universally disliked figuring that stuff out. That's what the new CodePen is great at. Don't worry about it. You can configure these tools however you want, but we'll figure out how they fit together. And we figure that out in part by using TreeSitter and understanding what you're all trying to do.
Yeah.
That's what's so fancy about it. And not everybody's going to see that, but I think you'll feel it when you use it.
No, even, I've I've written some like file parsing stuff, but it's all like regex garbage, so it would be kind of cool to like no, or like nor do you want to, right? So it'd be cool to kind of like, I don't know, I didn't know this existed, so that's actually pretty cool to just be like, can you just use your standard JavaScript parser and then tell me about this thing, or whatever. So
there's
something like that,
listen to Alex talk about it. It's like there's a very steep but very short learning curve for it, as he describes it, because the way that you write queries into asking TreeSitter information are really weird to look at with your eyeballs. There's a lot of parentheses and not no squigglies, brackets or anything. So like the amount of parentheses are like too many parentheses. Your brain kind of freaks out looking at it.
Yeah. No, I saw the file, a couple like whatchamacallit, a couple like rules, and it does kind of look like a lot like a Lisp or something like that. Weird, just sort of like Haskell
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah,
change,
very hastily.
especially for a JavaScript or Ruby kind of person. You're like, ooh, weird.
Yeah. Well, interesting. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
hey, that's
Here's a little positive one from Philip Gefeller, or just Feller maybe. I ran across this bug on NPM in the side panel where it shows details about a package, like the link to the repo. And there, I don't see this anymore, but maybe it was an A/B test or whatever, where not only would it show the repo link, but it would show the number of issues and pull requests and things like that. Probably something NPM, like npmjs.com, can just like hit an API and get that information. And there was some bug where it showed the number of issues was -32, which is funny and not possible. It got me thinking, but just regardless of the bug, it got Philip thinking, why is there no concept for positive issues on GitHub where people can report things that they are really good about a project and tell the maintainers this way to please not inshitify this particular thing they like so much about a project. Those positive messages might do well to solve the stress that maintainers are facing. I think it's just a nice idea, Philip. Maybe you should be the PM on one of these things and make it. I have a skeptical feeling that nobody would use it, or that it would be full of spam, or that the positive issues are so generic they're not that interesting, or like I don't hold a lot of hope for it, but it's
or like
cool.
We call it the complidis, like where you give a compliment but you're really giving a diss. Like
Ooh.
The maintainer's hair is so funky. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What
Does this belong?
What do
there?
you mean? Yeah. What's that? No, I think that'd be cool. I
At
think
least a +1. I mean, isn't that?
Stars
It's interesting when a social
way.
network has just a plus, just an up vote. Isn't that how YouTube is now? There's some.
I think it has thumbs down.
Does
maybe,
it have them both? Some social networks only have up votes. I mean, classically Twitter and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Social networks like that there's no down vote on Blue Sky.
It shows thumbs up with a stat, thumbs down no stat. That's kind of the anyway. That's YouTube right now. So
No stat, right? You don't need to see how many. Whereas Reddit, I think, was happy to tell you how many downvotes something got.
yeah, Reddit's like, yep.
I think
That's the whole
YouTube
economy.
used to show you number of downvotes, and then they removed that. That's maybe what I'm thinking of. Anyway, yeah, cool idea, Philip. Maybe, I'd like to see more like opportunities for joy put into products. Like, that's neat. Asking the universe, putting a say something nice text area on a website, I'm skeptical of people behaving about. Like, anytime you put a text area on a website, it's pretty much red alert that's not going to go good.
Yeah. Don't trust. Tread cautiously.
It's one of my favorite passages in that book. What is Design for Community? I think it's Derek Powazek book. It's one of my favorites. It's a little old school, but like it's one of those books where upon rereading, you're like, you were right about everything.
Oh, really?
And still are, kind of thing. But he basically makes that point. Is like, you put forums on a website, which used to be a little bit more of like a, I don't know, just put some sour cream on it kind of thing. I don't think people think like that anymore. Maybe for reasons, but people aren't just slapping forums on websites like they used to. But he had an example in there of like a fake meeting or something where people are doing that, and all the stuff you have to think about the moment you add it. And it was like some car, like a website that change your oil or something, like, let's put some forums on there. And it's basically like you need a dedicated employee, you need plans for bad behavior, you need moderation, there's just like a million things. You need spam protection. It's like the list of things you have to think about are so high because it's just gonna be abused. Like, that's why people don't think about it anymore. I think something has creeped into our collective consciousness where we know you put an open text area on the internet, it's just gonna be hammered.
No.
Speaking of CodePen Radio, me and Marie and I talked about how how insanely different customer support is the last 2 years on CodePen. I'll tell you, we get
How so? Yeah.
Well, somebody writing with their fingers, "Hi, I'm having trouble with CodePen, and here's the reasons why, and I would like some help with that." Couple a day, maybe in the I can safely say many millions of people that use CodePen. It's just a popular tool. It's just, you know what I mean? Like the traffic on it is pretty high. To have the support be so low that most of it is just AI slop. It's nefarious crap. It's bots. It's just bleh.
So
because we just have one incoming box.
Yeah,
it's the support inbox, and yeah, we have to, and we don't try to get people to not use it. You know, like there's a lot of that. I think I tried to submit an issue on Cloudflare the other day. I think I have a Cloudflare ticket I put in 2 weeks ago. I haven't heard back on yet. You know, like people, I think they get overwhelmed with this and then they can't catch up or something. We don't have that problem. We just figure it out. But one of the ways they reduce support is like you got to click 15 things before you even find the place where they let you fill out a form to do. They make you do a search of the forums. They make you get an AI response first, blah, 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 you know. And finally you can submit a ticket when you know in your head, like, I know I need to tell this to a human being. Like, there's no way there's an AI answer for what I'm experiencing right now. I need to just show you.
Yeah, that's right, you know. That's where it'd be nice to have this badge, like for the kids, but like a human badge. I'm going to badge into the website, verify I'm a human, and just give. But that's, you know, that obviously exploitable there. But the that's a weird. I don't know. That's a tough situation, right? Like you want to get support, you want people to ask the questions they have, but you also like. You know, you're a small team. You can't just have infinite spam, you know, and I'm sure
we have so much bandwidth for somebody that writes a message to us with their fingers. And you'll get a great response from us, you know?
Yeah.
We're ready to go. And with the filtering through the noise and garbage really isn't that bad. It's just amazing to me how much there is and how much little things we have to do to kind of fight against getting too much of it. For example, we have like a 500 page on the site, and there was a link to the support form from it. Or no, I think there was a form right on it that said like, "Oh, this is bad, a 500. You know, just fill out this form. We've logged it, but we'd like to hear from you too. What happened?" It was just 100% garbage. Now we just link to a support form, and it reduced the amount of incoming support from that case hugely, which we think is just agentic usage of CodePen. They're just trying to do something weird. And it's 500ing somehow, not a 404, not an invented link, but like hitting our site in a strange way that we don't even see. It doesn't even look like it has browser credential. And then what happens is some AI just fills out the form and sends it to us with garbage in it. You know, it's like a human being didn't even do that. Who do you blame for that? It's weird. Yeah. I think agentic usage of the web is a lot higher than we think it is. The point.
Yeah, I mean, I think. The first, what is it? It's like, AI is not spam, but all spam is AI sort of, I think, there's some saying like that, but,
it's related to crypto too, just to smash them all together. Cause I think people go to an AI browser and they say, make me a website that makes me money by exploiting people's crypto wallets or something.
No, it's
and then it tries to just
side hustle. Like that's like there are YouTubes that'll teach you how to do that. Like crawl with Playwright and get around firewalls, like there's YouTubes that do that, and so like it's like just basically spoofing your user agent, and then like there's plenty of tutorials
then part of that
to
becomes,
do that.
Okay, now go make a website quick to do this, and somehow it looks like CodePen can do that for you.
Yeah,
it can't really.
No.
But it like assumes we have an API, and I think tries to hit API endpoints that it's guessing about to do this.
Interesting.
And then that's what the 500 is,
Oh, okay. Yeah. They're like, dump websites, marketing website here. Yeah.
Yeah.
He will.
Yeah, interesting.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like we actually get kind of low customer support. It's not that it's proliferated so much. It's that I'm surprised at how little people use their fingers to ask questions anymore. That's more the insight to take from it.
Yeah, that's, yeah, it is like, and then are people getting answers that are plausible and good enough, or I'd be curious, like, how many support requests you get that are just kind of like not a feature on your website. I there was like somebody had a post like they're like getting all these support requests for like, hey, I'm trying to use this on your open source project, and they were just like, that doesn't exist. Like, thanks for the idea, I guess. I wish I could remember. Maybe it was Imagix or something like that. But anyway, it was just basically like the AI or ChatGPT or whatever had like convinced like itself that it hallucinated a feature for a product, and now that person's getting a lot of complaints that the feature's broken on their site, and they're like, we don't have that, but I guess we could. So, AI is kind of your product manager because it just invented a feature for your website. And now you have to
I'll tell you, we get an awful lot of, how do I delete my account? Which I'm not, it's a little unclear if people are writing those or not, or using some service that wants to clean up their accounts or whatever. But we can't, unfortunately, I mean, it depends on the circumstances a little bit, but the default answer is like, you of course can do that. There's a button to delete your account right in CodePen. So if you looked for it and couldn't find it, I'd be happy to help you. That would help us with UX, but usually it doesn't even look like they've tried. They're just, sometimes they ask how to do it, but more commonly they ask, please just do it. We can't please just do it. Because I could go make an email address right now that says davio892748@gmail.com and say, hey, my username profile is davidtron5000. I don't want this account anymore. Delete it for me. And if we just deleted it, we'd be the stupidest company on earth. That's not security. You need somebody to auth, and then they can delete the account. It's not a hard thing to do, and we have documentation. The documentation doc is called How Do I Delete My Account? It's hosted on codepen.io, and it's very easy to find. So it's not to paint all people as helpless. I'm happy to help you, but most people writing in, they're not people doing it. It's just some service or something.
Yeah.
It's an interesting world that most email we get is just not directly from someone's mind.
No, man. I mean, you and I get that drip campaign like, hey, I want to help you with Luro, the company you have that you closed down a couple of years ago. Really want to help you with it,
Unbelievable. Yeah.
With marketing and hiring. It's like, you suck. You're the worst person. Like, you scammed an email off the internet, and then you're like, I'm just going to email these people I don't know, spent $0 of my brain, 0 brain cells thinking about this person, and I'm just going to email them. And like, it's like, yeah, dude, you don't I don't know. I just kind of, So.
Oh no, I get it. Should we do a little inbox fun here, just to show that it's
give
not
me some inbox therapy here?
What we'll do? Are we doing inbox therapy? I just want to show you, and I'll go to I use Front. It's a pretty good tool for this.
Okay.
So just in the last couple of days here. All right, just
free homepage. Sweet.
Here's a free homepage. Yeah, we are offering some free mock-ups. You didn't. This is that kind of weird borderline spam, right? Like, where'd you get my email address? I didn't reach out to you. You're just hitting me, but it's not really nefarious. He probably does run a small design team that offers free homepage mockups.
Sure,
but it's just a hustle stuff. But it's kind of spam. I was stalking web designers and developers this morning, and I'm guessing you're working on landing podcast interviews to build your authority in the web design space. Have 15 minutes next week to see how it works with CodePen.
That's so...
Yeah.
There's a game, right? There's a game. There's like a go on podcast build authority, right? Like, but thinking like everyone's doing that game, like that's not why we do the podcast. Like we do the podcast because
it's a game that assumes everybody else is doing the game too.
Yeah,
That's an interesting
so
way
it's
to
like
think about it.
emailing people you don't know to like pitch business, they just assume that's the game, you know? Like, but yeah, they don't give a they don't give a shit. They just pipe this through an LLM and send it off, you know? Like they have no idea what this email said. They'll only read it when you reply, you know?
Oh,
you should just start replying like, yes, I would love free things. Like, yes, I would love a free
should I make them do
Miami
a bunch of work
or whatever?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, spend all week on a mock-up for me, and then I put their email address on auto archive, so I never even see what they responded. That'd be freaking great. Now I'm not that nefarious. I just delete it. Would selling CodePen be of interest if you could achieve a multiple premium? Multiple something we here at Freeman Logan. I just ended up on some list. They bought the list. They email me this crap. Doesn't that sound nice? Somebody would be interested in buying CodePen at a premium multiple. I tell you, they don't give a crap.
No,
this is useless garbage. Yeah. I promise you.
And do I want to email and say, sure, for $300 billion, it is yours. You know what I mean? Oh, and then give you a bump, smiley face? Fuck this guy, out of here.
This is a different guy. Oh. I noticed CodePen's focus on enhancing the development experience through collaboration. How are you currently aligning financial planning with product development cycles to drive growth? How are we doing that? Oh my gosh. Might seem random, Chris, but I'm chatting with some founders and CEOs that know their team should be doing more on LinkedIn to generate additional revenue. At a high level, we help B2B companies turn LinkedIn into a top revenue channel using a combination of organic content and direct messages. Would it be all right if I shared some ideas? No, it wouldn't, Hi, Chris. Based on CodePen's traction and recent milestones, we think there's a natural alignment with a few of our investor partners who've backed pure stage SaaS companies. Happy to send over some more details?
You know that old app Bump? Do you remember Bump? It was like a share business cards. Now AirDrop kind of does that or whatever, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I feel like, and this is your support account or whatever, but like I feel like we need that again for people who can email me, and I go boop, and we boop phones, and that means you can email me anytime. You'll get through all the filters. Everyone else goes
what hey.com is supposed to do. But...
Everyone else goes to the background queue, but yeah.
Have you looked into using connected TV to boost CodePen's growth? MNTN makes it easy to launch ads on top of streaming networks like ESPN and Peacock.
Is it?
Now, this is my favorite line at the bottom of these. If you'd like me to stop sending you emails, please click here. I'm like, I didn't ask you to start sending me emails, so there's that.
I think MNTN. I've get Ryan Reynolds ads for MNTN. So
good.
Maybe maybe that's the guy. Maybe it's I don't know. So, yeah,
Hey, Chris, we're throwing an event with Gary V, Neil Patel, and Seth Godin. Would love to get you involved. Any interest? Yeah, you're not. Even if you are, I'm not interested. Not that, I think Gary V is kind of a weenie, but I don't mind the other two guys.
What event?
Yeah, no information, nothing. and it's some website called Penji. Like any creative evidence, but 70% more affordable. Yeah, okay. So you run a super discount agency that looks like every other agency I've ever seen in my life, and you're throwing an event with three of the most popular guys in all of UX and product building in the world. Yeah, sure.
They're all coming.
Anyway, I could just keep going on these, but they're all just garbage, It's pseudo spam. It's like a weird type of email that it's not really spam, but I definitely didn't ask for it.
Well, yeah, and it sort of plays on earnestness, hey, I get you're trying to make money, times are tough or whatever, but and then, oh, dude, I wish I could like. I've probably said this before. I wish I could get like a badge on my email address that says this motherfucker reports junk. You know, like, so like you email me. Guess what? Like this dude reports. Like he has no tolerance, like a no tolerance policy to junk, and like I wish like rather than like senders spoofing emails, like you just knew when
it
you
is
send
tricky.
me an
It's weird because
email,
I'm huge on hitting report spam, except for that sometimes these emails they look too much like a regular email that I'm nervous to hit report spam because I don't want it like learning that emails like this are all bad because it doesn't really look like spam, you know. Oh yeah.
dude, I just wish I could just tell you, like, this dude, he is the Karen of email, dude. He is the, like, he reports spam on everything, and I get your whole mail server blacklisted for fun, dude. That's a fun
He's
thing
dangerous.
to me.
Yeah. Do you get? I'm just out of curiosity. I'm sure you get some degree of SMS spam as well. I get. I feel like more than my fair share of it. But one that I really get that's common is called Smile Set. It's like an alternative to teeth straightening. Like Invisalign, that kind of thing.
Oh, I got.
You don't? Do you get that one?
Hold on. No. But I got a good photo for you. Keep talking. Keep talking.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I get a lot of it, and then there's some kind of spam mechanic built into at least Apple's SMS handling too, and I've reported that one because it feels good when you report it, like report spam and delete. I'm like, don't mind if I do. I'll never get that one again. Once a day I get one for this Smile Set company. It feels freaking obnoxious.
I don't know. It's on my phone, so I'm gonna send it to you. I asked or I'll just show it here on the screen. Okay.
Yeah.
I asked. We're having to play around with Gemini at work, and so I asked it to give me ultra white teeth. You ready?
Oh my gosh. I don't like it, Dave.
I don't like it either, dude. It's very bad. It's
Why
very
are you playing
bad.
with Gemini? Isn't that the
Oh yeah,
at work
it's just
a little bit?
like anyway. It's just like this nano banana
makes me
thing.
like AI. I
That's
like
good,
that one.
right? That one was pretty good. And then it
You look
went,
like a banana? Is that what you typed
no,
in?
nano banana is the technology, and the thing it can do is like you say, take this person and put them over here. Like rather than like hallucinate some other person, it can like track a reference to a product or whatever. Anyway,
I see.
That's the novelty of it. So we were looking into that particular piece of it, but like it has object permanence, like where other AI image generators kind of don't. They're just like, I don't know, from scratch, like
Yeah.
like, so you can be this hat on this waterfall or whatever,
Right.
So,
That's why I like Photoshop's implementation, which I don't use it like all the time, but decently regularly, because you can like lasso tool a part of the image and say, do something else here, move this arm, and I'm pointing, I've just selected, like, don't touch the rest of the image, which is the permanence part.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They do a good job. And Adobe has notoriously done well with training data. They trained on their own crap, so I'm kind of pro Adobe's approach generally.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like just really trying to, I don't know, I think I struggle. Yeah, and I did yesterday too, like playing. I struggle with like the first 5 minutes is fun when I like give myself ultra white teeth and make myself look like I'm from the 70s. That's fun. After that point, it's a slow collapse, and so I just, that's my struggle. So yeah,
I see. Yeah.
But-
Okay. Well, we
right.
made it through here.
We'll
We're a
wrap
little
it up.
long, actually. Thanks
Yeah.
for sending in questions. We encourage that, of course.
we'll take more. So appreciate that. Have rid of the website, and then thanks. Like this up, share it up, so people find about the show. Join us in Discord, patreon.com/ShopTalkShow. Chris, do you have anything else you'd say?
Just the choptalkshow.com.